I was uh, I was impressed with the young lady that spoke with us before, and Rodney, you brought up a point that I thought was very, very poignant. We get mired down. We're kind of like the old lions, and we've been around for a minute, and so it was refreshing, and it is refreshing to hear hope.
Yes.
And yeah, it's refreshing to hear hope lives. I'm reminding of the scripture that my hope is built on nothing less but Jesus' love and righteousness.
Hello, Scouts. Welcome to another episode of Local Lookout with Bobby and Rodney, the first episode of 2025. So I want to introduce myself, Bobby Fryer, and my guest host, Rodney Butler.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, Happy New Year again, brother. Always good seeing you. I know you had a lot of wonderful things going on in the new year. We briefly spoke, and look, man, I hope 2025 bring you everything that you and your family is hoping for this year, man.
Same to you, brother. Same to you. It's going to be some challenges this year. We already know.
Yeah.
So, but I wish nothing but the best for you and for everyone out there listeing. So thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. We're going to have some very hot topic shows. So, you know how we get down, but I do want to make a couple of administrative notes real quick. I want to first of all say, happy Founders Day to the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Go Mob, and absolutely to the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated as well. With that being said, because it's Founders Week for kind of both of us, Founders Month for a whole lot of us. I think 5 of us and all. But that being said, I do want to address some of the local leaders for the Divine Nine fraternities who have gotten with me and want to be a part of the show. You will be a part of the show, no doubt about it. We will have you on as local leaders in this community, in the Douglas Carroll community. But of course, first, we had to have our respective fraternities on, which is Phi Beta Sigma. We had the local chapter president for Upsilon Iota Sigma, my chapter, on the very first episode that we did, and now we are having Kappa Alpha Psi, the local fraternity, the local chapter for
Polemarch.
Polemarch. That's right, Polemarch.
Yes.
for our first episode for the second season. So we will definitely get everybody in. I just want to reassure everybody, but we only do one of these local lookouts per month because of scheduling. Bobby and I are very, very busy. He's on other shows as well on the Black Man's Roundtable platform. And of course, I am on those shows as well, along with other things that we got to do. But we will eventually get everybody on. So Bobby, I just wanted to let all of the Divine Nine know, and that includes the women too. That includes the four sororities as well. We will definitely get everybody on. Just be patient with us. We had to take care of ourselves first.
Absolutely.
With that said, Bobby, hey, let's get it rolling, man.
Let's get it rolling. So, kick it off 2025. We have our first Millennial Minute. I'd like to welcome Miss Elizabeth Allen, a.k.a. Lizzie. She is a graduate student down at Florida A&M, currently in the, Liz, I'm not going to speak for you. I'm going to let you introduce yourself to everybody.
Thank you, Uncle Bobby. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Appreciate being your Millennial Minute highlight. Like Uncle Bobby said, my name is Elizabeth Allen. I'm currently at Florida State University, right around the corner from Florida A&M University. But I'm at the College of Motion Picture Arts pursuing my master's degree in film production. I have a directing specialty, and so here in this program, I'm writing and I'm directing minimum 3 projects before I graduate. Currently working on my thesis, and it's been an incredible experience coming from the independent approach from this industry, and then being basically given resources I've never had the capabilities before, and being able to merge that opportunity with my goals and my passions, which is telling Black stories, telling authentic Black stories, highlighting voices that otherwise wouldn't be heard. A huge part of my mantra and my belief behind what I do is that too much of who my community is, and too much of the narrative about who my people are have been written by people that don't look like us, and it's being controlled by people who do not look like us. And so a part of my calling in this industry is to take some of that power back and to take some of that control back. And I do that again by uplifting voices we wouldn't normally get a chance to hear, or telling stories that haven't been told. Tyler Perry, for example, Tyler Perry just did a great job with 6668. That is a story about women who were almost forgotten about, who sacrificed so much for not only the country but for in larger symbolism, Black women. So that's also my goal, is to find those stories and to find those voices and amplify them. So yeah, that's my spiel. That's what I spend my time currently doing at Florida State, and I look forward to my independent ventures when I graduate in August.
Looking for big things from you. Now you're being modest. You didn't talk about your first film. Talk about it.
I didn't. My first larger film that I did here was accepted to go to LA. Last August, I went to LA for the Nate Parker Foundation. I'm a part of his cohort, the 2022 cohort, and he did a competition where some of the filmmakers could put together a project. A member of the 2022 cohort, the summer program that he does, and he did a competition for all of the past cohort members to be a part of. And so I submitted the film that I did here, and it was selected amongst four other films, four total. And we got to go to LA and talk with some talent scouts. And we met at the Creative Arts Agency, which, if you don't know, is one of the three major talent and creative agencies in the industry. We're talking TV, film, all of that. So it was an amazing opportunity, and I got to meet and talk to some amazing people on a level that I haven't reached yet, and they were able to provide some wisdom and some direction. So it was a remarkable opportunity, and I'm still super humbled by it. But yeah, that's my journey so far. I'm looking to continue to do more, and like I said, currently working on my thesis project, which I will submit again for competitions, and prayerfully be seen and have my voice and my story shared with others to inspire and to uplift and to push us forward as a people.
Well, it certainly is inspiring to know there are young people like yourself that's out here doing these type of things. Again, I think it's very, very important, something you said earlier, that our stories are not being told by those that look like us predominantly. So we do need more that look like us to tell our stories and let our voices be heard. So I know you've got big things on the docket going forward. Full disclosure, as I was saying before, right before you came back on, I've known this young lady really going back to middle school. Her and my daughter have been best friends for a long time. They've all graduated together. They were all in those highly educated, smart classes all through school together. So they've done nothing but succeed in graduation from high school as well as college. And all of them just happen to be members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So, hey, it's yes,
Indeed.
T30 is what they call themselves. So it's, I just want to put that little shot out there for them. But Elizabeth Allen, we greatly appreciate you coming on today. And one final thing, if you could just give us in 2025, where you see the country going forward. I think it's important to get your ideas, young people's ideas, just to briefly share with us. What are you looking for in 2025, and where do you see the country headed?
I'm looking for a restoration of hope. I think in 2025, there was so much that happened on the tail end of 2024. Was like I said, hopeful and encouraging, and it felt as if things were happening and changing. And so for it to be ripped from us so, I don't know, blatantly and like clearly, it felt like just a major step backwards for the way that women are viewed and valued and respected, the way that Black women are valued and viewed and respected. It was a major, major gut punch. Honestly, I haven't talked very, very extensively about the political state of where I feel I am and where the country is, because I'm building the hope back up, and I'm hoping that in 2025 there are things that happen and voices that are amplified to kind of hush all of this nonsense and ignorance. I think that's surrounding not only the political climate but our social climate as well. So I'm hoping again to have some hope to come back into our nation and in our country, and I think that starts in little conversations, not little, excuse me, but in more intimate conversations like this one. A lot of people, a lot of my peers and my friends, were having a lot more dialogue about what these decisions actually mean, and how we're now in the space in the pocket that will be directly affected, and inching towards the pocket where our children could be affected by these things and these decisions. So it's definitely a shift in the mindset, I think, for my generation about what this means for us. And I'm hoping that it turns positive, but that there's action behind it as well. It starts with a positive mindset and positive conversation, but I'm hoping that we actually we show up consistently to the polls to vote, not just in the major elections, but in the generals as well, in the generals and the primaries and the local and state elections. So hope, Uncle Bobby. I'm hoping that 2025 is going to provide some hope for us.
Thank you. We certainly appreciate your perspective, and it's what we need to hear. We want to make sure that the younger generation certainly is not silenced or boxed out from expressing your views and opinions about the country going forward, because we need you. We definitely need you. Rodney, is there anything else you want to say?
Bob, I just want to say the most beautiful part about having the Millennial Minute is that, they remind us, man. They remind you and me of the hope. We these old fellas, man, we get mired in, and then to hear their refreshing voices to say, hey, it's not all doom and gloom. And so Liz, we appreciate that. We appreciate you just having that hope. And we definitely look forward to having you back on our Millennial Minute in the future.
Absolutely. I would love that. Thank you again for the opportunity. Thank you, Uncle Bobby, for thinking of me and nominating me. This has been very, very special. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll be keeping an eye on you, Liz.
Absolutely.
Remember that name, Elizabeth Allen.
Remember that name.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that young lady is a force to be reckoned with. Highly intelligent, has the right mindset. I'm proud to know that young lady, and I'm proud that my daughter hangs around the likes of her. They all feed off each other. So one day I have my daughter on and she can express herself. But yes, she is doing some wonderful things, and you'll be hearing from her in the future.
Oh, absolutely, man. And I think so far, we've had a couple of millennials to come on and do this Millennial Minute with us. One is happened to be a Delta, one the other one happened to be a Sigma, but you can definitely tell that so far, Bobby, I think that we may be introducing the world, at least on this platform, because I know they do other stuff as well. I think their faces get seen in other places as well, but I think that we are, introduced to the world on this platform of future leaders. And there is no doubt. And I think that we'll look back, man, and be, very proud of what we are having on, the people we are having on as far as our millennials in the Millennial Minute. So looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks for bringing her on, Bobby. I appreciate it.
Oh, glad to have her. As we move on, again, we want to thank Elizabeth Allen for coming on the show. Our next guest, our first guest of 2025, I'm proud to do the introduction of this gentleman here. Brother Bakari Allen is the Polemarch of the Carrollton-Douglasville Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. This is my brother that was alongside me as Vice Polemarch when I served my tenure. I knew we were in good hands, when he was going to succeed me. So it is a pleasure to welcome Brother Bakari Allen on here today. Brother Allen, the floor is yours, good brother.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come and to speak with you, gentlemen. I was impressed with the young lady that spoke with us before, and Rodney, you brought up a point that I thought was very, very poignant. Um, we get mired down. Um, we're kind of like the old lions, and we've been around for a minute, and so it was refreshing, and it is refreshing to hear hope.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, it's refreshing to hear hope lives. I'm reminding of the scripture that my hope is built on nothing less but Jesus' love and righteousness, and it just was a reminder to me that even in the midst of all of the foolishness, there's still hope. So I'm definitely find it a pleasure to be here, speak with gentlemen like yourselves, and to, of course, represent the greatest fraternity on the face of the earth, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So, as you guys mentioned in the intro, we are celebrating Founders Month for many of us. For the Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma, as well as for Kappa Alpha Psi, we are celebrating Founders Week. An excellent organization on both behalves. We were founded in January 5th, 1911, on the campus of Indiana University by 10 Black students who were looking for something as an alternative to racially inclusive student organizations on the campus of Indiana University. And so, with that in mind, they decided to take up the mantle and say, we're going to push forward with something for us, by us, in the midst of Klan country in the Jim Crow era, back in 114 years ago. So, tying all that together they had hope. And I think that's something that our millennials bring to us as young people. They can kind of help us old lions to remember that there is still hope and that there is still something to strive for.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brother Allen, I'd like for you to touch on things that we're doing in the community.
Okay.
That's been the backbone of our chapter and what we do. So I'll let you go ahead and speak on that.
All right. So the Carrollton-Douglasville Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi this year, actually in 2025, is celebrating our 20th anniversary. When we were chartered as the working chapter. Our inaugural Polemarch wanted us to be known as the working chapter. There are other chapters which are known for many other things throughout the city, but he wanted our work to speak for ourselves. Since the inception of that chapter on the west side of Atlanta, we've gone on to give out, I think we're close to hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships. We annually work with schools with regards to mentoring. We, of course, have a very vibrant mentorship program through our Kappa League and Guidewright program. We take care of a lot of different aspects. More recently, under the mantle of your co-host, Bobby Fryer, we took care of the school debt in the Douglas County area for all of the elementary schools, all of the middle schools, and I believe it was 2 high schools, wasn't it, Bobby?
Yes.
I
No, it
believe
was
that was the
one. It
case.
was Douglas County High
It was
School.
it was Douglas County High School. So,
Yes.
taking the opportunity to erase that debt for those who may not have the opportunity to provide food for themselves or to have food provided for them. We wanted to make sure that no child went hungry and to make sure that everybody had a chance to eat and that nobody was ostracized during the school day because they had to eat some type of subsidiary lunch as opposed to eating a regular lunch. So these are some of the things that we do. Blood drives, cleaning up the community, cleaning up the roadways around the Concourse Parkway area in Douglasville. These are just a few of the things that we do as we exhibit fraternalism through our community.
Absolutely. And Brother Allen has done an outstanding job as Polemarch. I had no questions. When you know you're in good hands, you feel good about the transition. I was elated as far as the transition goes to him. And he's proven to be exactly what I felt he was going to be. And I know the chapter feels the same way. So I'm just greatly appreciative of this brother serving beside me. I recognize his leadership long before he and I happened to serve together as Polemarch and Vice Polemarch. So he's taking the mantle and he's running with it just like everyone else. He's doing an outstanding job. I want to thank him. He knows it's my brother there. Appreciate all that you do. And just keep up the good work, brother. That's all I have to say.
I definitely will do that, and I appreciate the opportunity that not only you and the other 7 Polemarchs that served before me provided, but the continual tutelage that you all offer. Just bringing it back full circle, we talked about hope earlier, and having the ability to rely upon those who came before us, who can still mentor us, who can still provide a good word, who can provide a little bit of guidance. Because sometimes we don't know what to do, and we sometimes, need a counsel. We need wise counsel in our background, and so sometimes we need somebody in our ear to say, "Hey, have you considered this?" When you're in the midst of everything, you don't always see it clearly, and some of these old heads will that they all, and I don't know about your chapter, but in my chapter, they all sit at the same 2 tables, so it's kind of hard to miss them in the midst of a chapter meeting. But you can tell when something's about to go left, because you'll see the whispers and you'll see the leaning over, and it's like, I need to wrangle this back in. But I definitely appreciate the opportunity that you guys have had and the support that you all have all given.
Thank you, Brother Allen. Thank you, brother. Is anything, brother? Rodney, you want to add?
Yeah, man. Look, we are the, first of all, I just want to just remind everybody of how much, the local fraternities and sororities do in the community. And Polemarch Allen hit on just a few things that, that the Kappas are doing here in Douglas and Carroll County. But there are so many more things. And so I just want for the local community to know that, look, when you see, these letters and colors out there, we are not just, out there to be seen. We are out there to make a difference in the community. And my chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, which is the Upsilon Iota Sigma chapter, is the newest of the chapters on the west side of Atlanta. A lot of people were looking forward to having a Phi Beta Sigma chapter here on the west side, and I'm very proud to be a charter member of that of that chapter, and I'm also the social action director. So I definitely look forward to our 2 fraternities coming together. I know that there are many things that are happening, behind the scenes right now, as far as as far as all of the local chapters and everything are working on. But I definitely look forward to working with Bobby, with you and the Kappas, because I know a lot of you guys, man, and a lot of you guys has been on the show over these past 3 years. Oh, yeah. And so, and I look forward to working with you guys. So I just want to repeat one last time that, look, our goal is to get every single one of the fraternities and sororities on this platform, but you have to be patient and understand that, look, we had to get our 2 on here first. So so that part is over with. The order in which it comes is the order in which it comes, but we're going to definitely work to get everybody on here to to share to share what they're doing, and we're looking forward to it, Bobby. And I just want to say, for those that are, for the rest of the 3 that are celebrating their Founders Day in January, happy Founders Day, happy Founders Week, happy Founders Month, and definitely to my brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Go Mob brothers, we see you, I see you. Thanks, Bobby, for that.
Absolutely. Brother Allen, you know how we do it, brother. Yo. All right, Newt. Yo. So we want to thank Brother Allen again. So it's a pleasure to have him on today. We just celebrated our Founders Day on January 5th, as we mentioned before. Yep. On Sunday. So I had a great Founders Day. Great Founders Day. We had a great time. So it's always good, man. I think it's really important that those that don't know much about the Divine Nine and the Black Greek sororities and fraternities, about what we do, we overlap in the things that we do as far as community service, student mentorship, scholarships. We're all serious about that. That's something that we signed up to do for life. It's not a glee club. It's not something that, you're just having fun while you're in school and then it's over with. No, this is something we all sign up for life. So I'm very proud of all the work that all of the Divine Nine members do. So I just want to make sure we put that out there.
Absolutely, Bobby. And, and matter of fact, this episode right here is a recorded episode, but it will be dropped on January 9th, which is Phi Beta Sigma Founders Day. So definitely we, and look, it's time before we get into our hot topics and all of that, Bobby, I think it's going to do our Civics 101 first. So I think you want to give the people a lesson like Bobby Fryer do. He's going to give you a lesson. But before we get into that, I do want to say, Bobby, that look, it is time for all of the African American, organizations to it's time for Black people to really start to focus on our organizations. We have all these organizations that's, over 100 years old, and they've stood the test of time. I think that we're really going to have to reach back into each other, going through, these turbulent times that may be coming up, in this country, politically, economically, socially, and I think we really need to lean back on our organizations and stuff like that, and I think the 5 fraternities and the 4 sororities of the Divine Nine will be more than happy to take on that challenge, and I'm looking forward to to us getting back to we never left our roots, but I'm really looking back to us really digging down into our roots of what we were all founded for. So I'm looking forward to it, Bobby. Yes, sir.
Me too. And I do want to, before we move on real quick,
yes,
I do want to make sure I wish the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma a happy Founders Day. I want to make sure we put that out there right now.
We appreciate it, brother.
And yes, sir. So I want to make sure I put that out there. Okay, so moving on to this is kind of funny this time. It's a Civics 101, but it's really more like a civility one-on-one topic for this particular time. So first of all, I want to acknowledge and honor the life of President Jimmy Carter, who passed on December 29th at the age of 100 years old. He's the oldest living president we've ever had. And the man was known for not only just being a good human being, but known for a lot of his charitable works and a good all-around person, just never stopped looking out for people, just showing his character was outstanding. And people can have their own opinions about his tenure as president, but he was a good man. And I do want to acknowledge the work that he's done and just say thank you, Mr. Carter, for your decency, for doing your best as president. But just being a good person, a good man as well. So I think the life that you've lived and tried to be an example of as a man of Christ deserves that honor. So I bring him up first because in terms of civility, okay?
Hey, Bobby, before you get into that, I do want to echo those sentiments about, President Carter. And I don't know whether I read this or heard this, and maybe you can help me if you know this. But I either read or heard where he actually was the only, if you go into the Capitol building and, where they got all the governors and everything on the wall. And I either read or heard where he was the only Georgia governor that would not take the picture, his official picture with the Georgia flag behind him, because, the Georgia flag, the old Georgia flag had the Confederate.
It sure did.
Yeah. And do you know, I can't remember whether I read or heard that, but have you ever?
I haven't heard that, but I would like to Google it instead of saying, yeah, I know.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you know off the top of your head, but I did when you was talking, I just remember, I'm like, man, I read that somewhere. And if that is true, that definitely matches, President Carter's character throughout his life. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But I'm sure our listeners and everything will Google it in real time as they hear this. So
and see, and it wouldn't surprise me because that just speaks to his character.
Yes.
Even in the state that he was in, people were saying that he was basically holding out just to vote for Vice President Harris before he died. I mean, that just goes to show the character of the man. So salute to you, President Carter. And I bring that up because flags have been lowered at half staff. And our incoming elected Oval Office occupant has decided to make an issue about flags being lowered on his inauguration day. And it just never ceases to amaze me, the depths of the bottom of the barrel that he will go. And, it's always an opportunity out there to be civil. It's always an opportunity out there to rise above. And he never ceases to rise to that level. And to make something like that an issue when all you simply have to do is say, hey, listen, we have the flags lowered. I want to make sure we honor and commemorate, one of our past presidents of the country. It's really that simple, and things like that. He just can't rise above the negative. He just cannot live up to the moment. And he's proven that time and time again. And I'm just amazed that this is what we have coming in, that the American people say, yeah, I want some of this again. It just never ceases to amaze me. So on the civility level, I wanted to bring that up. And then it also bleeds into one other thing. And I want to definitely get your side of this as well. So we had Senator Deb Fisher from Nebraska. She's a Republican. Was sworn in yesterday. And as we know, maybe you don't know, this is a Civics 101 lesson. This is by the vice president. She swears in members of Congress. And so yesterday at her swearing in ceremony, she's standing there with her husband. Her husband is to her left. Vice President Harris is directly in front of her. If you have not seen the video, at first he was very reluctant to even stand near her. And then at the time of the swearing ceremony, she shakes her hand. Vice President Harris shakes Senator Fisher's hand, congratulating her on her victory, just something formal. And as she reaches out her hand to her husband to congratulate him as well, he would not shake her hand. And instead, his free hand he put in his pocket. What he was holding in his right hand was the Bible. So, it amazes me that you can stand there and hold the Bible in one hand and be ugly and nasty with the other hand that's free. Not even acknowledging want to shake her hand. And these type of things have just eroded the country, the image that we want to project around the world, as far as what America is. And there are those that just want to show you how ugly America is. They just refuse to rise above. And I've just given you two examples of that. And it's really just disgusting to see these type of things happening and to be ushered in as though, it's just another day. So I haven't even gotten into January 6th. Didn't see any riots on that day. Election was certified. Didn't see anybody climbing the walls, urinating in the halls, defecating in the halls. The election was certified with no drama. So I just want to throw those things out there and just see where you stand.
Yeah. But I'll start with the, I guess with, which one? Well, I tell you what, I've been paying attention, I've had to take a break from a lot of the stuff that's I've not been into mainstream media for a long time now. Tried to get back into it just a little bit during the election, so that way I could look at different perspectives because of the round table, and so I understood I needed to do that. And but as far as the swearing in, I guess I'll hit that one first. The Congresswoman, it was her third time. Right. It was her third time. Yep. And, her husband, so strange because he did not have a problem shaking the hand and chopping it up with Vice President Biden, when I think that was her first swearing in. And then, of course, he didn't have a problem with Vice President Pence. So I don't think that I have to opine too much more on, some of the reasons and some of the rationale, at least some of the rationale as to why this guy did what he did. I think, Bobby, at the end of the day, man, those dog whistles have been gone. They are using straight up, bull horns with their, misogyny and racism and all the other things and all the other ism, the anti-blackism, which in 2025 they say I was going to, use more of instead of the racism thing, because I think in America a lot of this stuff is really about anti-black. Well, not just America, around the world, a lot of stuff is about anti-blackness. So you'll hear me use that more than you hear me say racism. But it's just, it is what it is, and people need to stop being ashamed or scared or embarrassed to say, what it is. We were all brought up to call a spade, and people need to do that and stop, trying to, I don't try to figure out what's in nobody's heart or not even what's in somebody's head. But what I do know is your patterns. And this guy has a pattern at this point. This is the third time that she's been sworn in, and and he had a pattern of being cordial to the vice president, no matter what their party affiliation, but he just couldn't find himself to do it this time. I'm just glad that Kamala Harris showed the dignity that we have come to expect from her, because that is also her pattern of being dignified in the face of, indignant kind of folks. So I definitely appreciate that. And real quickly on the Donald Trump, the flags being, flown at half mast. Bobby, you and I both are military veterans. We understand the importance of those flags being flown at half mast. This guy's supposed to be a former commander in chief and should know better, or should have people around him to, not say some of the things that he said. But look, he's also got a pattern, and which I'm obviously, Bobby, I'm going to be saying pattern a lot in 2025 as well as I'm already started with it, right? But he has a pattern of disrespecting. President Carter, is a Navy veteran. Didn't serve very, very long because his father got ill, and he came back home to take over the peanut farm here in Georgia, out in Plains, and but he was a young, commissioned, officer in the Navy, did his due diligence. I think he was a submarine kind of guy, worked on submarines when I think, some of these things was just not coming out, nuclear submarines, I believe. But again, Either way, no matter what he did, it's just, to me, it's just another pattern of Trump just disrespecting, military veterans, and this time, happened to be, a commander in chief, who he is disrespecting because, of the narcissism and things that I guess that he is. And, it's just a pattern to me, Bobby, and people know what they voted for, or I'm assuming they know what they voted for. The man didn't hide his hands. He has not hidden his hands in the past 10 or 11 years that he's been on the stage, on the political stage, and he's always shown, what he is. And I just think people need to buckle in and get ready and stop saying that, this is not America and this is exactly who we are. So that's kind of where I see it on those two, at least, Bobby. I know you got other things, but on those two, that's where I'm standing at.
No, I mean, I feel the same way, and that's where I am with it as well. And by the way, I echo, I have not hardly been focused since the election as far as what news outlets are saying, just out of disgust, really.
Yeah.
The hand wringing of what went wrong. No, America just showed we just showed who we are. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, we can try to parse through all these different reasons of what could have been done better. Yeah, I don't think it mattered. I mean, because there's nothing you can sell to me that says that it would have changed anything. Yeah. And there are those that just can't reconcile that this is who we are. Take a look at yourself. If you think this is okay, it's who you are as well. Okay. let's just face that. Look in the mirror. Quit kidding yourself, because what are you going to say that's going to be an excuse? And I know there are those, and I'm happy to know those that stood on the same side as we have, that recognized who he was, who he is, and said, I'm not falling for this. So I want to give those people credit too. But for overall for the country, this is who we are. I mean, you can try to deny it all you want to, put lipstick on a pig. It's who we are. And until we change, hey, we're going to whatever comes after this, you ask for it.
You ask for it. And I want to also let our listeners know, Bobby, our loyal followers, of the local Lookout, is that, look, we're human too. I know that, people look at me, look at you, and they say, man, they really, really enjoy, chopping it up about, what's happening in the country. And we do. We're very passionate about it. And so, but what I want people to know, that we are human too. We have to take a break from this stuff. But look, we don't have to, Bobby and I, we don't have to watch what's happening with the mainstream media. A lot of that stuff is just straight propaganda. Right. We do not have to watch that in order to bring you, from the angle that we're going to bring you on this platform of what is happening in our community, and around the region and even around the world. We don't have to do that. We are, I consider us to be well-read men. We have plenty of other resources outside of mainstream media. And maybe we as a people, really kind of need to lean into the resources that we have, bringing it from a perspective where we can understand it, because a lot of people are misleading as far as social media, as far as the internet, as far as mainstream TV, network television, cable television. You're being bamboozled, you're being hoodwinked, you're being led astray, you're being run amok, all that. And so, and we, the stuff that Bobby and I, that we're going to bring, Bobby, we come from places where we have read or where we have listened, and we bring in that to the audience of the of the local Lookout. So I just wanted to throw that in there, Bobby, that, hey, because I know everybody heard, Rodney and Bobby saying they don't listen to the mainstream media. We don't have to listen to that new stuff in order to bring you what we want to bring you.
Right. And these local elections, what happens locally, that is going to be extremely impactful. It's always been most important, honestly. But this now, especially, if you're not paying attention now, I don't know what else is going to catch your attention. So I'm going to leave it there with that.
As they say, all politics is local. Everybody about to see that. That's right.
You about to get a lesson.
Yeah,
you about to get a lesson.
As they say, Bobby, we already did the F around. We're in the find out phase now, bro.
Exactly. That's where we are. So buckle up, man. It's as simple as that. Buckle up. I want to move to this on the spotlight. Okay. For this particular time, I have something here that may be a little fun. I just want to announce it as, this is my top 10 things I want to see starting January 20th. No need to wait for the 21st. I'm going to give you a top 10 in no particular order. This is what I want to see. Okay. So as we move into transition in this year. All right. Number 10, I want to see a plan for healthcare, and I want to see a plan for unemployment numbers to come down. Oh yeah, let's get it. Day one, let's go, baby. What we doing? What we doing for healthcare? That's number 10. In no particular order now. Number 9, Medicare, Medicaid. What we doing? What we doing? We cutting it? We getting rid of it? What about Social Security? Let's see. What we gonna do? I want to know day one. All right. Number 8. This is what I want to see before actually January 20th. Pardons. I want to know what pardons, or see some mass pardons for, especially those that are incarcerated for nonviolent offenses relating to whether it be cannabis. I want to see a large list. CBC have a huge list to President Biden, to our local state officials in the Senate. Reverend Warnock, John Ossoff, Senator Warnock, Senator Ossoff, I'm going to give you respect to your title. Send a list Send a list for President Biden to approve. Let's get those pardons in before January 20th. That's number 8. Number 7, foreign aid. Since some people don't understand how the annual fiscal budget is done by our federal guidelines, i.e. in Congress, I want to see if there's any cut in foreign aid. All those that we're talking about, money we send into Israel, money we send into Ukraine, I want to see, are there any cuts in there? And see if people are really serious about what they were talking about, because I don't think they were. Don't understand how it works. So that's number 7. Number 6, want to see how many black judges get confirmed, especially during this administration. Let's see how many get nominated. Let's see how many get confirmed, okay? I want to know how many civil rights bills are actually introduced and passed, because Republicans are leading Congress. Let's see what gets introduced, okay? That's number 6. Number 5, I want to hear about black home ownership and the black wealth gap. I want to see that black wealth gap decreasing. I want to see black home ownership increasing. I want to see. Let's go. Let's do it, baby. Let's see what happens. Number 4, the economy, the inflation. Everybody worried about grocery bills as though the cost of eggs, as though you've ever seen corporate America care about cutting their profits. I want to see how much this comes down. All right. I'm not going to mention the price of gas, because if you pay attention, the cost of gas has never been in control by the president. OK, I'm not going to even mention that. But I want to see all the people that talked about so much about socialism. Socialism is exactly what you're talking about, what you're asking for if you ask for the government to bring down the cost of eggs and milk. OK, so I want to see what happens there on January 20th. Make it happen. Day 1. All right. The non-voters, okay, those that said, neither party ain't doing nothing for neither one of us. All right, I want to see. You didn't vote, okay? You didn't think this election was important, okay? Watch what happens. I don't say nothing. Don't say nothing about if you see something happening, it's like, hey man, I didn't sign up for this. Yeah, you did, because you didn't vote. All right, so that's number 3. Number 2, I want to hear from the reparations crowd. Yeah, I want to hear from y'all. The ones that always say the Democrats get in office and they'll never do nothing about reparations. Let's hear it. Let's go, baby. I'm not against it. I've always said define it. Tell me exactly what is reparations to you. Let's see. I want to hear from you. And number 1, and again, this is no particular order, I want to know about Gaza. Everybody talked about Gaza. The ones that were withholding your vote said, I'll never vote for an administration these are their words that are okay with genocide. I want to hear. I want to see something done immediately. Day 1. All right. You ain't talking about Haiti. You ain't talking about Sudan. You ain't talking about what's going on in the Congo. Haiti has over 80% of the guns that are in Haiti. They come from the United States. Okay. Our people killing each other in Haiti, and that's our people. Yes. All right. So everybody that had this stance on Gaza, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have cared about the people of Palestine. That's not what I'm saying. OK, all I'm saying is, where was that same energy? Where's the same energy for Haiti? The Sudan and the Congo? Where is it? So I want to see, starting January 20th, these are the 10 things I'm going to be looking forward and seeing, just paying a close attention to as this administration gets started. That's my 10.
I tell you what, Bobby, look, we talked about early in our meeting, we talked about as far as the spotlight, some of the things that we're going to do for our spotlight for this season, for our second season. And look, I think you pretty much just laid it out. I think we can always come back to these 10 each week, or at least, come back to one of them if it's actually happening, or one of them that, that you want to bring up and kind of, circle the wagons on a little bit, because, somebody might be talking about it, or something might came up to where, it's like, hey, you reminding them of one of those 10. But, something that also stands out to me, Bobby, that I want to hear about, that's being crushed right now all across all of these corporate a lot of these international businesses, Fortune 500 companies, is DEI.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is just I think Walmart. I mean, you got all of these companies who are saying, "Hey, we are done with DEI." I think even Meta has come out and said that they are going to stop fact checking, and all of this stuff. And so,
Zuckerberg,
yeah, Zuckerberg. And so,
say that yesterday, I think.
Absolutely. And so people need to know that it has started. It is in full effect. You and I, and throughout the Black Man's Roundtable franchise, we have talked about, Project 4045, Project 2025, Agenda 47. We picked out the things that that we thought that would affect our community the most, and we focused on those each time we did an episode of the Local Lookout and across the Roundtable franchise. And so, we try to tell people. Now I'm not trying to sit around here and say, well, we told you, you just weren't listening. Look, we know that we are a growing platform, okay? But however, we weren't the only one out here doing this stuff, okay? We are doing what we can at a very local level. You have Roland Martin and all these other big time podcasters who are really, really, getting to a lot of people. So at the end of the day, Bobby, DEI, all people are about to start losing jobs, and where they don't even have to explain anything to you at all, and I even heard a congressman or someone talking about, that people should, I think it was a congressman, people should be able to if you don't know policy, then you shouldn't be able to vote. And it's like, oh, okay. So see, these are the poll taxes and everything. It's just slowly easing back into, these tests and everything to vote. And so I just like you said, Bobby, we're going to keep on doing what we do here on this platform. We're going to keep doing it, on the Local Lookout. We're going to keep telling people. We're going to keep informing people. But look, I think, like I said, man, we in the find out phase, and a lot of people about to be in for it. That's all I can say.
Hey, I mean, this guy's talking about Canada being a state, Mexico being a state, renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America,
calling the prime minister a governor. I mean, but this is. Bobby, this is what people want. Now, I'm not going to sit around here and say that, that Donald Trump has some kind of mandate, because he does not. No. You talked about the non-voter, which is the largest voting bloc in America. Mm-hmm. But look, at the end of the day, Donald Trump got about, 25 or so % of Americans, to vote for him. Because, the non-voters, they don't vote. And so he doesn't have a mandate. So I won't say this is what the country want, but, sometimes, as they say, Bobby, when you don't say anything, like they say, right, it's you're complicit.
Complicit. Silence is complicity.
Silence is complicity. And so at the end of the day, you can, first thing I do is I ask people, did you vote? I mean, as soon as I hear somebody complain about anything, did you vote? And don't lie, because I will look you up. I will straight up look you up, and I will send you a text and say, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Why you lying? So you already know something is going on. But I also, Bobby, feel there's a lot of, it seems like, already buyer's remorse from these people that voted for Trump. And I'm not saying necessarily I've heard somebody come out and say, oh, I hated I voted for him. Yeah, you had those people the next day talking about, can they change their vote all over social media, like they think it's some kind of video game or something. Right. But, but the buyer's remorse that I see, that I consider buyer's remorse, Bobby, is that, why are you still mad?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like, you should be jubilant. It's like even that Congresswoman's husband who wouldn't shake.
Yeah, you won.
It's like, what are you mad? You won.
Yeah.
You won. You should have been shaking her hand like vigorously, like to say, yeah, you out of here. Mm-hmm. But no, it's like they're mad. It's like, are these people just mad people anyway? Like they're just mad about life? I don't know.
I mean, you didn't hear, without going into, you didn't hear a whole lot of talk about, yeah, we cheated, they cheated, and, something's funny's going on and, we're going to sue this state. You didn't see none of that, right? From the losing side. You didn't see none of that. And like I said, on January 6th, certified the election.
Yep.
No bells and whistles. Fine. Okay. And, Biden said he will be at the inauguration for the peaceful transfer of power. Didn't have that in 2020 or 2021, January 6th, 2021. Yep. So yeah, I'm just like you. It's just like, y'all are still angry, about what, what in particular now, so.
Is it simply about the existence of certain people what is it? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I tell you what, Bobby, I believe that by the time we get to December, by the time this second season is over, with the local lookout, I got a hunch that Bobby and Rodney is really going to have a good have receipts as to what's really wrong with you guys. Because like I said, I consider us well-read men. We're going to do our homework and we're going to figure out exactly, what is wrong with you. People ask me, there's some rumblings about, that there's some Democrats or whatever to believe that the election was stolen or whatever and that kind of thing. But I'm not one that believes that. But what I will say is this. If there's one thing that actually kind of just seemed very suspicious to me is the Iowa situation, right?
Yeah.
Where that pollster out of Iowa, who is a very known for the accuracy. I believe it's a woman that runs that poll.
Female.
And it's been known for the accuracy, and everybody know how Iowa, the first state, blah blah, and all that stuff historically, and and so I would take polling and elections very very serious because of what they're known for, being the first. And so that being said, that was one of the polls that came out and had Trump losing Iowa like 10 points or something.
And it wasn't even close.
And it wasn't even close. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that's suspicious to me, Bobby. Why are you suing her?
That's what I was going to say.
You see what I'm saying?
Why are you suing?
Like what? Like you trying to send a message. It's like, so I'm not a conspiracy theorist as far as whether the election was stolen or not. But I will say this, that right there is very, very suspect to me as to you won by 10 points. What are you
suing about?
Yeah. What are you, because
what are you afraid is going to come out?
Yes, because Donald Trump historically, because I'm like I said, I'm going to talk about patterns a lot this year, and his pattern has been for the last 40 years to where he sue people to shut you up.
Yep.
Like, what are you trying to shut up? You trying to shut up that you won by 10 points?
Yep.
So anyway, that's a little suspicious, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist on the election. But, I just want to let, the people know who maybe do, have some suspicions about, things that may have happened and stuff like that. That, look, maybe you're not totally off base, but I'm just glad that we are, we are not doing some of the same things that was
Right.
done, back 4 years ago. So,
right.
Yeah.
And then, the insecurities about Elon Musk, when people called him the president and showing Trump is more of a servant to him. And so hey man. And then my next thing, and this is the last thing too, is about once mass deportation begins and once these tariffs kick in, everyone that was talking about inflation that was so uninformed, and I'm anxious to see what these Christmas totals look like. I don't know if the numbers have come out yet. I know for Black Friday, the numbers were up like another billion or a million, whatever it was from the previous year. The numbers were up. So in this quote unquote bad economy, we got airports full. We got people spending money for Christmas. And I'm just wondering, like, where was, all this talk about a bad economy and Americans suffering and, and of course, a capitalistic economy has never worked for everybody. somebody always gets left behind. I've said that numerous times before. It's never worked for everybody. But all of a sudden, we came around election time and it was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Okay. All right. When has everybody felt it would be my next question. But, these news outlets, they don't ask those type of hard questions. So,
That's right. That's
we'll,
right.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And like you said, I travel a lot. I know you travel as well. These airports, these byways and highways are not suffering at all.
Nope.
So, where's the thing about, the cost of eggs and whatever, milk or whatever, you can just have that. It's just not the case. All this stuff about the economy is stupid. No. Nope. I don't think it's ever really been about that. But anyway, and one other note, Bobby, that I want to say is that, look, the inauguration, is on January the 20th. So Donald Trump is already mad that the flags are going to be half staff. And I guess he just, don't want it to be a somber day. This day was going to be somber for a whole lot of people, no matter whether,
That's right.
I guess Jimmy Carter planned his death around his inauguration. But, that's just sick, man. But also it is MLK Day.
Yes.
And I hope that our community, stay and get out and do, the work that, Martin Luther King Jr. would want us to do. And try to make that last as far past, 12 o'clock Eastern time, high noon, as long as you can. And a special note here for our local area, Bobby, as I know the Kappas and the Sigmas, we are all involved in the MLK Day event.
Yes.
That is going to be at New Manchester.
Usually New Manchester.
Yes, New Manchester.
Well, it's New Manchester, and we've also had it at different high schools.
Okay. And but I believe that, as far as I know, I believe that all of the fraternities and sororities going to have representation there, maybe except for the IOTAs or whatever. But anyway, if you're looking for something to do, come out there and do that, and at some of the other events that we have going on MLK Day. But especially in our community, people get out there. Don't waste your time. Look, I'm not telling nobody what to watch. It's up to you what you do. But at the end of the day, don't do things that's going to just upset you, is what I'm saying. Right. So, so I say, get out and do what, MLK would want us to do for that day, especially on that day, because I think we all know that if he was living, that he would not agree, with so many and so much of the things that Donald Trump has espoused, over the last 10, 11 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be doing the work in the community. Won't be watching. Like you said, I can't tell you what to watch, but I won't be watching the inauguration. I can tell you that. Absolutely, brother. And I won't either. So I won't get back home to maybe about 3 o'clock that day anyway, from just doing stuff since maybe 9 o'clock that morning. So yeah. So anyway, Bobby, look, I think it was a great first episode of of our second season, man. I'm looking forward to a great season of having some good special guests on, some good people and some good conversations, man. Because like I said, Bobby, you always bring it, and so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think it was a good kickoff, and look, like I said, if you want to, be a part of the show, reach out to me, reach out to Bobby, reach out to the Black Man's Roundtable at gmail.com. Let us know. And like I said, right now, because of scheduling, we're only able to do, one of these shows a month with the local lookout because of our schedules. But look, we're going to try to get them as fun packed and as information packed as we can. And so even if it come down to sometimes we may even have to have 2 special guests on in order to squeeze in some of the people that we really want for the community to hear from. So anyway, Bob, I'm looking forward to a great second season with you, man. And brother, like I said, I'm so glad you're a part of this Black Man's Roundtable franchise. Hey, I echo your sentiments, man. I really appreciate it. I look forward to this every time we do it. So it's fun. Hopefully we can provide a perspective for those out here listening that, say, hey, look, I like what they're doing, what they're saying. I want to be a part of it. But I just look forward to it, man. It's fun. It's fun doing this with you, and just look forward to a great 2025.
Absolutely, Bobby. Look, brother, peace, and you can close it out.
Okay, so hey, catch the local lookout with Rodney and Bobby the first Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, we'll be on the lookout. And let me also give out to you, check out the Black Men's Roundtable, as Rodney's giving out as well. And also, you can see me on there, as well as CBD Politics. We talk about sports and politics, so we combine it together along with entertainment. So we're just doing what we can out here, trying to provide a perspective. But we will see you in 2025. God bless everyone. I hope you enjoyed your New Year's Eve, and let's just hang tight in 2025.
Peace, Bobby, and I look forward to looking at you like I've already done, looking at you guys on the sports podcast as well.
Appreciate it,
great
brother.
show.
Appreciate it. Thank
Peace,
you,
Bobby. Talk to you soon.
Peace out.
Don't forget to check us out on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Do you have show ideas or want to be on the show? Shoot us an email at blackmansroundtable@gmail.com. And please follow us on Facebook.